the Kenpachi archetype, the character who always wants to smoke, the character who is the worst person to get the smoke from. Kubo outdid himself when he invented or popularized this specific archetype. The smoke demon is my favorite archetype in anime, period. Kenpachi is an amazing guy. He had a lot of children, a lot of young Kenpachis in the new anime era, a lot of smoke demons. When they pull up, you know it's safe. And I'm here to rank those characters, in my opinion, some of them. We're gonna start off with, last but not least on my list, Escanor. If you could say 10 million bad things about 7 Deadly Sins, Escanor is not ever included in that in like any universe, I'm not gonna lie. Being truly the best, greatest thing to come out of 7 Deadly Sins, he is probably the best Kenpachi archetype on this list, if I'm being real. The entire dynamic of him going from super weak to super strong, the whole thing of his powers having a time limit, it just gives him all the more credit that when he is firing on those cylinders, he's fucking firing. Whenever Escanor was around in 7 Deadly Sins, you knew some insane smoke was about to be had. Some fucking, he is not letting nobody get off with some smoke is happening, bitch. On top of him just being so strong, Escanor's aura genuinely surpasses the series of 7 Deadly Sins. I'm not even lying. It's that great. And I would straight up recommend people to watch 7 Deadly Sins just because of this character. But there's a lot of other shit that happens in 7 Deadly Sins to where I'd probably, retract that statement. So, and truly, he's only at the bottom of the list, of my list, because I just haven't seen enough of 7 Deadly Sins. I ain't seen the entire series. But the Lion's Sin of Pride, he deserves to be on this list whether I know a bunch about him or not. And I'm sure everybody who has watched the series in its entirety can vouch for that. Number 3 is going to be the Fire Queen herself, Mereoleona. Truly hoping I'm pronouncing her name right, because she might just jump through the screen and whoop my ass. That's how this character get down. I'm not gonna lie. From the moment we see Mereoleona in the series, she is all gas, no brakes, loud as fuck, angry as fuck, and she's making niggas like Yami be like, you know it a little too much. As far as I know, Mereoleona is the first woman Kenpachi that I've ever seen. She's the first woman smoke demon that has the personality of Kenpachi and will whoop everybody's ass because she's this, that's wrong. She's that first archetype I've seen ever as a woman, like deadass. Her being a woman doesn't matter, but I think it's really cool. She is probably the smokest demon of the smoke demons. That makes no fucking sense. What I mean is, out of all the people that I'm listing so far, Mereoleona, if you put all of them in a room, Mereoleona is probably throwing the first punch, and that's being real. She might throw the first punch before Kenpachi, I'm not lying. When Mereoleona shows up to the battlefield, you just know that you are either safe or whatever the fuck you guys are fighting is so strong that it required Mereoleona, and that's not really good news for you. Mereoleona, in my opinion, is someone who carries Kenpachi's legacy of being the strongest whoop-ass character so unbelievably well. She would have topped this list if it wasn't for someone who just released and just got to shine relatively recently. But shout out to Mereoleona though, you the GOAT, like genuinely the GOAT. And the final Kenpachi on this list, and my favorite personally, is Todo himself. Nigga, what is your type, nigga? What is your type? Out of the other 2 characters that I've listed, Todo is the only one who has directly been compared to Kenpachi, and the creator has said, yeah, I was thinking of Kenpachi when I wrote this character. And boy, do you feel it. Because one thing you know about Kenpachi is the same thing I said about Mereoleona. Either the threat is so fucking dire that they needed Kenpachi to come handle it, and it's usually just that the Kenpachi nigga just want to throw some hands, Or you can rest your little head because you are now the safest motherfucker on the planet ever when the Kenpachi character shows up. And that is specifically applied to Todo. One of the earlier things we hear in the story regarding a sorcerer's strength is that the body of a sorcerer is very, very fucking important when it comes to their strength. And Todo clearly has a ridiculously built body for, his specific job, which is whooping a curse's ass. From being trained directly by Yuki, which is at the start of the series, just like, oh, that's cool, she's special grade, he was trained by a special grade. You don't really realize the significance until you witness just what Yuki is later in the series. She's a monster. You begin immediately to understand also why Todo clung so hard to Yuji. Like, wow, I'm finally around somebody competent who can throw hands, who's strong like me, nigga. This is my dog. If I'm not mistaken, Todo is one of the only sorcerers in the entire show to have a 100% win rate. Not only that, he has a 100% win rate against special grade threats. Like, is there more I can say? On top of Todo just being able to pass mental barriers beyond and go beyond his limits and push his friends to do exactly the same while he's pushing himself, so his mental strength is off the charts. He's also ridiculously intelligent, making a joke that his IQ was like 1 trillion or some shit, like some ridiculous number. He might be right because every play Todo makes is perfectly calculated. They tell all the sorcerers to run away and that there's only one person who can do the job, and it's Yuji. He's like, oh, you mean my brother? Nigga, I ain't going nowhere. And he took that fight, and like the smoke demon he is, even though it cost him his hand, only to show up later in the series with a fake hand, stronger than ever. Todo, with his new hand and the improvements that he made to his curse technique, was able to help to teleport Yuta to take out Kenjaku, and also confused Sukuna so much that he just said, oh, this ability is just impossible to track, I can't do anything. Greatest sorcerer in history, by the way, and Todo is seen multiple times just blatantly outsmarting him, just blatantly thinking circles around Sukuna, who has been shown to have a battle IQ off the charts. Todo himself really exemplified the, hey, you know, there's gonna be smoke, but if you ride with me into this smoke, you are 100% safe. And I think Gege expertly crafted this character. It's beautiful. Last but not least, we gotta talk just a little bit about my homie, Kenpachi Zaraki. I would like to remind everyone that Kenpachi Zaraki was doing all of this, all the stuff he was doing at the beginning of the series, without even knowing the name of his sword. When Kenpachi got his Bankai, his power was so overwhelming, his body could not handle the fucking force of swinging his own sword. The key thing about Kenpachi compared to all the other ones on this list is, yes, you are 100% safe when they show up, and they're gonna get to the action real quick. They're gonna get to the smoke straight away. But with Kenpachi, it almost feels like whoever he was fighting at the time, he was probably the only person around who could have defeated him at the time, literally. Kenpachi is so great because we see him lose to Ichigo at the start of the series and admit, he's just like, yeah, I lost. But that takes away absolutely zero of his aura. He literally lost zero credibility from losing to someone who was at the time considered way weaker than them, by the way. I just truly think that no other person, no other Kenpachi on this list could pull off such a feat, genuinely. And to top all of that off, if we go to power scaling everybody on this list, Kenpachi probably mops them all, arguably at the same time. And at that point, we just gotta accept that the children could never beat the father. This guy is the father of smoke demons in anime. And maybe Kubo wasn't the first person to come up with this concept, but he was damn sure the one that did it the coolest and the one that popularized it. And for that, Kenpachi Zaraki is a fucking legend.